Welcome to another edition of Patriots No Huddle, brought to you by PatsFans.com. Mike Diabate, Steve Balestrieri, Derek Havens here as your hosts, as always. I want to thank everyone who's tuning in live, and for those who are listening later or watching us on our PatsFans.com YouTube channel, please do like, share, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. It keeps us high in those podcast rankings so other Patriots fans can find us. We are talking about the Patriots preseason finale where the Giants defeated the Patriots 42-10. Before we get into the game, as always, Steve, how you doing, man?
Doing great. It was a late night, but it wasn't surprising considering how many players didn't suit up for the team yesterday. So
That's 35.
Yeah. But if they're looking for a different third quarterback, they might have found one last night.
I'll tell you, I feel like for all the East Coasters out there, whoever schedules like a third, preseason finale at 8 p.m. is like the boss that schedules the 7 a.m. Monday morning meeting. They should be fired and kicked into the sun. But Mike, man, how you doing?
I'm doing great, fellas. Always a pleasure to join you guys on the microphone, especially when there's so much to talk about here in Pats Nation. As the late great Gorilla Monsoon would say, the time for the talk is just about over. The preseason's in the books, the regular season's on tap, and of course, in the immediate future, Patriots have some serious decisions to make when it comes to this roster. And last night we got a little insight as to what the Patriots might do here, but still a lot of outstanding questions. And they got their work cut out for them here within the next 48 to 72 hours, if not even more, as we march toward Tuesday's deadline for final roster cutdown.
Yeah, we're recording this Friday, August 22nd at 10:15 a.m. And we have roster cuts, as Mike just alluded to, final roster cuts to discuss next week. And so I'm sure we'll get into that either Tuesday night or Wednesday morning when we can figure that out. So we'll keep you guys posted on that one. Mike, give me your first takeaway from the game last night.
First takeaway from the game is that the reserve spots along this offensive line, fellas, are very much still open.
Yeah.
Cole Strange, City So, they've made their case to try to make reserve spots at the guard position based on experience. They both have some positional versatility, but it's hard to ignore some of the athleticism you've seen out of guys like Trey Jacobs and Caden Wallace. That can't be ignored. So Mike Vrabel, Josh McDaniels, Doug Marrone all have to sit down, take a look at where the strengths and weaknesses are on this team along this line, and make their selections accordingly. You saw an awful lot of shuffling last night. Verdarian Lowe getting the start at left tackle, Jared Wilson starting at left guard, Ben Brown getting the nod in the center, City So at right guard, and Marcus Bryant getting the nod at right guard. I think Marcus has done enough to earn his way onto this team as a full-time contributor, someone that can be a very valuable reserve option. But you look, Lowe and Bryant flip spots. Verdarian, I think, is much more comfortable on the left than he is on the right. You move him over, he starts to struggle, but this team needs tackle depth. So does he get a spot by default? A lot of what we saw last night, I think, is a harbinger of things to come for the Pats. The offensive line's still unsettled. They still got a lot of questions to answer there.
I agree with all that. I think the offensive line is one of the more fascinating position groups just from, just from an analyst standpoint. I mean, it's just hard to kind of break down and sift through that stuff. And the thing is, Mike, with some of that stuff is when you talk about things like that, you really need to be inside those walls, inside Gillette Stadium, and be in the coach's room to kind of hear what the assignments are, and you can look at it, but it's hard to that's a hard position to really go ahead and break down. It's like the same thing we talk about when we're observing them at training camp. Offensive line, defensive line play, really tough to go ahead and know everything. I thought I might, Steve, I'm going to go to you right now, but the only Giants thing I'm going to say is I was impressed with Jackson Dart last night. I know it's nothing schemed up or anything, but I thought he looked pretty good. So that's interesting. Steve, from a Patriots standpoint, what was your takeaway from last night's game?
Well, I mean, there was some good, there was plenty of bad,
Yep.
there was a few ugly moments, but I mean, it wasn't that surprising. I mean, they rested a lot of guys, and most of the guys who played last night, we probably not going to see. Um, on the 53-man roster, with the exception of a few. I mean, Mike mentioned a few of those guys who
Well, like
were.
to your point, Steve. I mean, someone asked him about Jabril Peppers playing because him and Craig Woodson both played 21 snaps, and he said that he wanted to see them, out there together. So I thought that was notable.
Mhm.
I thought it was bad that Keon White was kind of invisible against backups. I didn't like that for him. And, Kyle Duggar played 57% of the snaps last night. He was out there for quite a while. So that the concerns around him are still looming.
Yeah, I don't think anything with Kyle Duggar changed last night. He made some nice plays. He
I
made a
mean,
big stop.
yep.
He had the interception at the end of the first half, but the fact that he was out there for so long pretty much tells you what you need to know. I mean, you know, I'm just looking at the big picture, but the Giants have four quarterbacks, um, and Tommy DeVito looked really good last night, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Patriots look to him, when cutdown comes. I'm not blaming Ben Woldridge at all for what went down last night. I mean, you look at who he had out there on the field with him. I mean, it wasn't, the 27 Yankees lineup. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, um Quiggy writes, and he would rather have DeVito than Dobbs.
Me too.
We know how you feel about Joshua Dobbs. Thanks for listening, Quig. So yeah, it's an interesting situation. It's an interesting situation with Ben Woldridge. I mean, I could definitely see them cutting him and replacing him with someone else. There's gonna be guys that are released or available that they're gonna add that aren't on this roster right now that are gonna make the 53. It happens every single year. I'm not saying it's gonna be a lot of them, but it's gonna be a decent amount. Mike, Steve, and I were on the phone yesterday. Shocker. And having the show before the show, and um, we counted what, Steve, 11 guys that we thought were going to be new starters from this year, from last year to this year. Uh, and the turnover on this team, Mike, is going to be pretty hard or pretty strong from last year.
Oh, without any question. I mean, and at a lot of high profile positions, you could kind of hear some of the smatterings of what the national pulse is for this club last night between Kirk Herbstreit and Al Michaels, and talking about, some of the new faces that you're going to see in prominent positions. Let's not forget that Ramondre Stevenson has been battling injuries for the better part of training camp and preseason. So does Travion Henderson get the lion's share of the majority of the carries early on? Does he get a chance to prove he's an every down back? He's the future of this franchise at the position. Does he get a chance to prove it sooner than later? That's one that you have to, I think, at least keep an eye on heading into the start of the season. Obviously, Stephon Diggs is going to be a very prominent member of this wide receivers core. You look at the defense, you're going to have a lot of new starters, a lot of new guys that are going to come in that are going to play prominent roles. So yeah, it's a new era in Foxborough. We heard it last year an awful lot. New era, new beginnings. I think you're really seeing that in earnest this time. They've cleared out a lot of the old guard. There may still be more to come in that regard, if you can believe that, even with everything that they've cleared out to this point. But the Patriots are molding this team in Mike Vrabel's image, and I think that's going to serve them well moving forward. I agree with what you said. I think that you heard Mike say it last night that they will continue to improve the roster in every way possible, which means watching the waiver wire, keeping an eye on trades. And I think they'll continue to do that and do their due diligence. But I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of the new faces that are going to be in Foxborough this year.
Yeah, I think I'm keeping my eyeballs on the Terry McLaurin and Trey Hendrickson situation, just because this is kind of where the rubber's going to meet the road for them. They both want big deals. There's a lot of transactions going. The waiver wire is going to be interesting. Something you just said, Mike, was kind of interesting about Travion Henderson. There's not a bigger Henderson fan than me, but I wonder if he's a player that you don't really want in a quote unquote full-time role. You kind of want him in a rotation to keep him fresh. And but I don't know. I mean, I have no I don't know. I mean, he's explosive. He's somehow a deep threat out of the backfield. Like I think Josh is gonna, the way Josh sets up screens, the short passing game, I could see them kicking him into the slot, even running some like drag routes or something, just trying to get him the ball in space, and some wheel routes, and just let him go and use his speed to really add some explosiveness to the team. Um, um, Steve, what's your next thought on the game?
Yeah, I thought that the defense got a little bit gashed last night, but again, they didn't have a lot of a lot of people that are going to play. I liked what I saw from Gibbons last night. One thing I will say, that penalty where I think it was Jackson Dart that scrambled out. He went like 25, 30 yards, whatever it was. He got stripped by Gibbons, like at the Patriots, I think it was like the 30, 32-yard line. But there was a penalty on the Patriots, and they marked a penalty from where the run finished, which I thought was kind of strange. I don't know is that some kind of a new rule?
I wasn't sure about it either. I was looking for clarification. I think I saw Doug Hyde post something about it right after it happened. Who was having the same question, so we're gonna have to circle back on that one. But it was a weird scenario. So I don't know. It could have been a mistake. Maybe it is new. I had never seen it
because
so.
I mean he stripped them. The Patriots recovered, so there was a penalty on New England. So I would have thought they would have went back to the original line of scrimmage, put the 5 yards there, but instead they retained the ball at where he fumbled, which was like, why is that?
Mike, do you have any clarification on that, or?
Now, other than what Doug had posted, that he was confused, and I was confused about it as well, just like Steve is. Yeah, the new rules. I mean, I'm still getting used to the fact that they're, bringing things back out to the 35 rather than the 20 when it comes to a touchback. So, yeah, I mean, there's still some things that are being worked out, and you might see, minor tweaks, made to these or different ways that they're called heading into the season. But yeah, I share your curiosity on that as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, last night, like I said, I thought Ben Woldridge, who honestly has done a decent job in the first two games. I thought it was his worst game, which is why we were talking about the quarterbacks. I did think Jack Gibbons stood out on defense. I did think it was notable about Duggar, like we discussed. The speed was evident on defense. Unfortunately, there was just a lot of room, but like we mentioned, there was a lot of guys out. There was 35 guys that didn't suit up last night. So, and if you look through the list, I'm not going to read them. I'm not going to read all the names because it just won't be a good for a podcast product. But if you look at the names who were out, I would say at least 30 or 32 of the 35 that sat out are making this team. So there's a lot of starters out there, as we talked about previously before the show. I mean, the fact that Efton Chisholm sat out and he's healthy pretty much cements his spot on this roster. If anybody had any questions there.
Well, I did see last night that they said he was banged up. So,
Oh, maybe he is. Yeah. But I still think he makes the team. I just don't, like we talked about after the second game, I just don't see
oh
him
yeah,
kind of.
he's making the. I can't see any way they could keep him off the roster at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, Does anyone else want to bring up anything? I know we're kind of doing a quick hitter show today, but I didn't know if there was another topic we wanted to discuss. Mike?
With related to the game last night, I would caution everyone that's writing the epitaph of one Andres Barragales after missing a 47-yarder last night. Social media pretty much had this kid condemned and banished to wherever they're going to send kickers that are not able to complete their assignment. Parker Romo, like Deuce said the other day, has looked more consistent. He's looked like the guy that has been the comfortable choice. And in a lot of ways, you can't argue with that. And Parker has got a great preseason and a training camp. So in that regard, you look at it and the decision kind of seems easy. It's almost like, okay, well, you go with the hot foot, you go with the guy that's going to be able to be more consistent. But I think people have to remember that not only did the Patriots invest draft capital in Borregales, which shouldn't be a deciding factor, and even though the Patriots will tell you it's not, it is. It
It
has to
is.
factor in. They just used a draft pick on this kid. I don't think placing him on waivers is going to allow him to get through and not be claimed by anyone. There's too much talent there. There was a bidding war going on at the time for his services if he made it to undrafted free agency, which is why the Patriots traded up to get him. And not for anything, but you're looking at a kid with tremendous upside, with a lot of ability. And we saw them do this with Chad Ryland a couple of years ago, cut bait very early, and now he's a pretty serviceable kicker for the Arizona Cardinals down there in the desert. So before you're willing to put Borregales on the cutting room floor, yeah, I think that there's a lot that needs to be considered here for the Patriots. They're not just going to knee-jerk reaction into this one. In my opinion, I think Borregales is going to be the guy that makes it. I really and truly do. I don't think they're going to cut him, and that may anger some Patriots fans. And I understand where you're coming from on that, but if you're the Pats and you're looking long term, this kid I think is more of a long term solution than Parker is right now.
Yeah, and like you said, sorry, hang on one second. I got a huge Charlie horse in my abdomen all of a sudden. Apparently, I'm dehydrated. I would say it shouldn't matter, but it does matter that they invested that draft capital. Like I think that was well said, and I also have it on good authority from someone that works for the team, not a coach, but someone who works for the Patriots that they love him personally, and he's a good kid. So I'm not saying that they don't about Parker Romo. I don't know that, but I just think that should be accounted for. And it's an interesting situation, like you said. Chad Ryland for the Cardinals is I forget who I follow on Twitter, and that said this, but there was a long field goal that he made the other day, and someone was just like, "You got to be kidding me!"
I saw that.
The Patriots have had some rough luck with kickers, since Gostkowski, pretty much. I mean, aside of maybe Folk, but Steve. I know it's a shorter show, guys. But any final thoughts on the game?
Well, just glad it's over. Now they can get down to business about, not finalizing, but shaping their initial 53-man roster
That's well
and
said.
practice squad, because we know that's going to change. But, now they can get to work on that. Start gearing everything toward the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah, and I'm excited to start breaking down that game. I mean, we'll do that obviously on a different show, but that'll be fun to discuss. Not only we'll have a show for the roster cuts, and then we'll obviously preview the game. So it'll be on a different show before when we're a little bit closer. But that'll be a good time. Mike, any final thoughts for you, bud?
No, I think we've pretty much summed it up. Obviously Ben Woolridge will have some work to do on the scout team. Anyone wondering whether the Pats were going to carry 3 quarterbacks, I think they put that to rest last night. But look, before we hop all over Ben, like Steve said, I think it's very important to remember who he was playing with, who he was playing against. And this kid still has a very vast knowledge of the playbook and the scout team. So I look for him to be a contributor and an emergency QB on the scout team this year if the Patriots don't bring in another quarterback. And yeah, Tommy DeVito looked pretty good here in New England, wouldn't he, Steve? He'd fit right in. With our people. I've got the black fedora. I'll wear it if he ends up becoming a member of this team on this show. I give you my word on that. But
his agent's a local Boston guy, so
absolutely, Sean Stellato is.
Yeah,
a
that's what we
local
need. You
guy,
two
yeah,
wearing
without
Tommy
any question.
DeVito jerseys, prancing around. What
What have I ever done to make you treat me so disrespectfully? But no, in any case, like you said, it is on to the regular season, and it's on to the 53-man roster deadline at Tuesday at 4 p.m.
All right, Mike, take us out, man.
All right,
Yeah.
and once again, thank you.
Quig just posted he'll send DeVito a veal parm sandwich.
That's good. You got to make sure it's from Louis' restaurant in the Bronx, Quig. Best
That's
veal
it.
in the city.
Yeah.
Best in the city. But in any case, folks, thank you for taking time out of your schedule, whether it's Friday morning or over the weekend or whenever you're listening to Patriots No Huddle. We appreciate all of the support that you provided this pod. Don't forget, make sure you're subscribed to our channel on YouTube. That's the Pats Fans channel on YouTube to make sure you do not miss a single second of the action. In the meantime, on behalf of my good friend Derek Havens, my Patriots paisan Steve Balistreri, I'm Mike Debate, reminding all of you to stay safe, to stay well, to be the change that you wish to see in the world. Have a great day, everyone, and we'll see you back here next time on Patriots No Huddle.